Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about the concept haemophilia. Haemophilia is a bleeding disorder in which the blood does not clot properly. The main characteristics of this disease is there is an increase in the normal clotting time of 3 to 10 minutes to 1 to 24 hours. In this individual, a very soft clot is produced, due to which a single cut or small cut in any body parts of this individual results in non-stop bleeding, or there is a continuous blood loss because of lack of clotting mechanism in this individual. And it is mainly due to lack of single protein or one protein out of series of protein that is involved in the blood clotting mechanism. Blood clotting mechanism or blood clotting process is a complex process which involves a series of protein or many number of protein. Out of that, only one protein is lacking in the hemophilia. There are mainly three types of hemophilia. They are Haemophilia A, Haemophilia B and Haemophilia C. We'll discuss these three types. First one is Haemophilia A. It is also called as classic hemophilia or classical hemophilia. Haemophilia A is a very common type of hemophilia, and in this individual a protein called factor VIII is lacking out of series of protein that is involved in the blood clotting mechanism. This Haemophilia A was found in Queen Victoria family. Because of that, this Haemophilia A is also called as royal hemophilia. Second type is Haemophilia B, which is also called as Christmas disease. Christmas is a surname of the boy who studied and who detected with this type of hemophilia for the first time. In this individual, the protein called as factor IX is lacking. Third type is Haemophilia C. Haemophilia C is a mild type of hemophilia, and in this individual, protein called as factor XI is missing out of series of protein that is involved in the blood clotting mechanism. So these are the main three types of hemophilia. The gene which is responsible for this hemophilia is denoted by the letter small h. So small h is a gene which is responsible for hemophilia. So small h is a abnormal gene or recessive gene to its normal gene, which is named as capital H. Capital H is a normal gene or dominant gene which is dominant to this recessive gene, that is small h. So small h is a abnormal gene. So in the presence of capital H, this small h or the hemophilia, symptoms of hemophilia will not appear in the presence of this capital H gene because it is dominant gene. And this abnormal gene or small h is present on the X chromosome. That is why hemophilia is called as sex-linked disease or X-linked disease. Usually, sex-linked term is used to represent the X-linked diseases, because normally Y-linked diseases will be named as a Y-linked diseases only. So normally sex-linked means X-linked diseases. It is called X-linked because this gene which is responsible for hemophilia is present on the X chromosome. That is why it is called as a sex-linked or X-linked recessive disease. Recessive means only in the recessive condition the symptoms of hemophilia appears. Then what is the meaning of recessive? Recessive means when both X chromosomes have this abnormal gene or small h or the recessive gene for hemophilia, in that condition the symptoms of hemophilia appears. For example, you all know that in the case of human female, the sex chromosome is a 2X chromosome. Say these are the 2X chromosome, X and X. If one X chromosome have this abnormal gene or gene which is responsible for hemophilia, whereas another X chromosome have dominant gene or normal gene, that is capital H. So in this condition, the symptoms of the disease or symptoms of the hemophilia will not appear. So this woman or the female will be normal. So she does not show any symptoms of hemophilia, and that condition is called as heterozygous condition. One capital H, another one is abnormal gene or normal gene and abnormal gene. So in the heterozygous condition, the woman does not show any symptoms of hemophilia or she will be normal, but she is a carrier. Carrier means she does not show any symptoms of the disease, but she carry that abnormal gene to the next generation. So that is the meaning of a carrier. So in the heterozygous condition, the woman will be normal, but she is a carrier for that particular disease. In another condition where the two X chromosome, that is sex chromosome of the female, carry this abnormal gene. As you can see in this diagram, this is a X chromosome having abnormal gene. This is another X chromosome having abnormal gene. So both the chromosomes have this abnormal gene or the recessive gene, and this condition is called as homozygous. In this condition, this woman are hemophilic, or she shows the symptoms of hemophilia. That is why this disease is called as X-linked recessive disease, because only in the recessive condition the symptoms of the disease will appear. Whereas in the case of male, as you all know, males have two sex chromosomes, that is X and Y. X and Y are the sex chromosomes of male. If the X chromosome of the male have this abnormal gene or gene which is responsible for hemophilia, then this man will be hemophilic, or he shows the symptoms of hemophilia, because on the Y chromosome, gene which is responsible for hemophilia will not be present, because this gene is present only on the sex chromosome or only on the X chromosome. It is a X-linked diseases. So the gene which is responsible for this disease is present only on the X chromosome, not on the Y chromosome. So when the gene or the abnormal gene is present on the X chromosome, the man will be hemophilic, or he shows the symptoms of hemophilia, and that condition is called as hemizygous condition. So these are the three conditions in which the gene can be present in the both male and the female. Now we'll discuss about the inheritance of this abnormal gene in different conditions. We'll take the first condition in which a normal woman marries a hemophilic man. So normal women will be having the dominant gene, whereas a hemophilic man will be having the X chromosome with the abnormal gene or gene responsible for hemophilia. These are the gametes produced by these parents. So all the eggs are normal, whereas 50% of the sperm produced will be having this abnormal gene. When this sperm having the abnormal gene fuses with the egg carrying the normal gene, it produces carrier woman. So 50% of the offspring produced will be carrier woman. So carrier woman means she will be normal, but she carries that abnormal gene to the next generation. We'll take another condition where the carrier women marry a normal man. Carrier women will be having one abnormal gene or gene responsible for hemophilia in one of the X chromosome, whereas another X chromosome will be normal. Whereas normal man, all the chromosome, that is both the chromosome will be normal, or it will not carry any abnormal gene for hemophilia. These are the offspring produced by this parent. So out of that, 50% of the egg will be carrying the abnormal gene or gene responsible for hemophilia. Sperms will be normal. When this egg having the abnormal gene fuses with the sperm carrying normal X chromosome, it produces carrier girl. On the other hand, when the egg carrying this abnormal gene fuses with the Y chromosome, it produces hemophilic boy. So 25% of the offspring produced will be carrier girl, in which she is normal but she carries that abnormal gene to the next generation, whereas 25% of the offspring produced will be hemophilic boy. So in this, he shows the symptoms of hemophilia. So that is a second condition. In the third condition, a carrier woman marries a hemophilic man. As you all know, carrier woman means one of the X chromosome will be having abnormal gene or gene responsible for hemophilia. Whereas in the case of hemophilic man, X chromosome will be having gene responsible for hemophilia. So these are the gametes produced by this parent. In this, 50% of the egg produced will be having this abnormal gene. Similarly, the 50% of the sperm produced will be having abnormal gene. So when this egg having normal X chromosome fuses with the sperm having abnormal X chromosome, it produces carrier woman. Carrier woman means she will carry that abnormal gene for the next generation. Similarly, when this abnormal gene having X chromosome fuses with the sperm carrying this abnormal X chromosome, it produces hemophilic girl or hemophilic woman. In this case, that woman shows the symptoms of hemophilia because it is a recessive condition. So both X chromosome will be having this abnormal gene. That is why this individual shows the symptoms of hemophilia. Similarly, when this egg having the abnormal gene fuses with the Y chromosome, it produces hemophilic boy. So he carries the symptoms of hemophilia because of the presence of abnormal gene. So that is the third condition. In the fourth condition, when the hemophilic woman marries a hemophilic man, all the offspring produced will be hemophilic. So these are the four conditions and the inheritance of that particular gene to next generation. But actually or practically only this condition is possible because in all the other three conditions either the man or a woman are hemophilic. For example, in this condition the father is hemophilic, in this again the father is hemophilic, in this condition both mother and father is hemophilic, which is practically not possible because hemophilic individual will not survive for many years or they will die before they get sexual maturity. To produce offspring, the individual should get sexual maturity, but practically the hemophilic individual will die before they get sexual maturity because of non-stop bleeding or continuous blood loss. They can't survive for many years or they will die before they get sexual maturity. That is why only second condition is possible and the other three condition is practically not possible. In the second condition, carrier woman marry a normal man. So carrier woman will be normal like any other woman. So carrier woman will not show any symptoms of hemophilia or she will be normal or blood clotting mechanism in the case of carrier woman will be normal. So she is normal like any other woman. She can attain sexual maturity and she can produce offspring. Again, in the produced offspring, if anyone is hemophilic, that individual will die in the early stages of their life cycle or they won't reach sexual maturity. So that is all about the hemophilia and its inheritance. I hope this video will be useful. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.